I will never judge you.
No, thank you, honey.
Shit, that looks horrible.
It looks like you.
Oh, wow.
You can't be no more unless you go get some professional hair or something.
You know what, Mom?
Put on another hair.
This is really insulting. This camera is not fair. Yeah, but Mom, I don't need your help.
You do. It's really covered in there.
Oh, Bobby! I always wonder, I said, if I ever won an award, I wouldn't be able to read the cue card.
You have to get real glasses.
These are real glasses. I paid a lot of money for these at Lens Crafter. I can't see them. And I don't look like what I want to look like.
You want to look
And
like
so-
a 28-year-old?
That would be nice. I know, I'm so used to doing everything with the filter. This is so eye-opening, and it makes me have to really be okay with me. Stuff they talk about. And I just like seeing this side of Leah. I mean, to really be honest with you, seeing this side of you is really great. Because the only thing that occasional party here and there, for the most part, I never get to see Leah be just normal. She's always in a work mode.
I beg your pardon. I'm always fun.
Well, you know what? What I'm interested in is how you and Hayden hooked up and became. Well, how did he convince you to do this show?
Okay, around schedule, but always on time. This is the Around the Way podcast, and it's your girl Frankii, baby. Hayden still is not here with me today, but I am joined with the lovely Divine Idea. I've been knowing Divine Idea for a while now. I'll say, so tell me a little bit about yourself.
Woo! Okay, so I am a person who is working a job, but I have a dream. I have a dream that one day, I'm working a job, but I have a media company, and I just started it. It's a legitimate company in Ohio. It's FIST Media. It stands for Funny, Focused, Informative, Stimulating, and Thought-Provoking Media Group. And so just trying to get that off the ground and trying to do some of the other activities that kind of make me feel good, like Stereo, which is another app. It's kind of like a fan base, but you have little avatars, so I don't have to worry about putting on a wig or a bra.
Oh, God.
Yeah, right. I had to go put on a bra to do this one because I was scared you might see something sitting on my knee.
I appreciate you.
It's Saturday, and I never wear a bra. You just call, they like tongues. This stuff.
Just hanging and falling, huh?
Right, just hanging. Right, sitting on my knees. And, yeah, they my friend.
We talked about this. I don't have that issue. So
yeah,
I don't know.
You're the perfect body. Your body's perfect.
I don't know what you're doing. I thank you.
It's perfect.
That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, if I had your body, I'd be a hoe. Mm-hmm. Just keep it real.
I don't even know. I wouldn't even know how if I really wanted to. I don't even know how. How do you hoe?
Right.
You know how to hoe? Somebody tell me how. I've been trying.
I know how. I could write a book on it.
I've been trying to figure out how for the last 2 summers.
Right.
I can't do it. I don't know how to do it.
Yeah, it's difficult in this time. Back in the 80s, hoeing was easy. That sounds bad, don't it? I'm just being funny for the camera. Smile for the camera.
That sounds like a great story, actually. So.
Right. It's an 80s thing.
Okay, all right. But, okay, more about your media.
Wow, I have the peanut gallery in the background like, this is Super Soul Saturday. This is the Sabbath day. I'm like, forgive me, Jesus.
But anywho, so, and continuing telling me about yourself.
Right. So, I'm a hopeless romantic. I love anything that is about love, period. I love talking about love. I love being a loving person. So, it's hard to talk about yourself. He's like, talk about yourself. I'm like, what do I say? I'm an amazing person. person, and I love myself so. I don't know what am I saying. What am I saying? Because I don't have what I want to be going on. So it's not like I can say, well, I make 6 figures. I'm just that. So it's like I work at the clerk's office, man. And I'm trying to get out.
You working? It's an honest job.
Hey, and I'm so grateful for the job. I'm grateful because I know I got friends with degrees that are really not working. They're unemployed and they have master's degrees. I have some doctor friends, like PhDs. They ain't got no job. They're like, are they hiring with you? I'm like, wow. And just to think, mother almost forced me to get down in that game like that. I'm just saying. They ain't working. I'm grateful.
Well, okay. Well, you being the loving person that you are, that you want to be, that you try to always be, what would you say are some things that have helped molded you to be the person that you are?
Whoa. I didn't know you was going to be like serious. For real. You like, man, this is a serious thing.
When we was talking earlier, you said you...
Right. I know. What molded me to be the person that I am? Well, first, let me ask you, what kind of person? You know me. What kind of person do you think I am?
Do I think you are?
Mm-hmm.
I think
honestly,
you are... dead ass. I think that you are one of the most, from the heart, honestly, you try to be the most giving person. Like, you are one of the most giving people I've ever known. Ever. If I ever walk past and I need anything, the littlest thing, the biggest thing, if you got it, if you can help me find it, if you ain't got it, you gonna help me find it. You gonna go, hey, you gonna call this department, you gonna call that department. Hey, does somebody got this? Does somebody got that? Oh, okay, I'll see if I can find it for somebody else. So it's not that serious. You sure? You're not gonna let nobody go hungry if anybody needs anything. So I feel like you are honestly one of the most giving people I've ever known. And I've never given you credit for that.
Cut it now, because
I will never say this to you again.
Okay.
But it is recorded, so it will be here forever. You're one of the funniest motherfuckers I've ever met. You think so? You are funny when you're not trying to be funny.
Oh, right.
Some of you are dead ass like, serious. You're usually the funniest when you're not trying to be funny.
Okay.
Usually the funniest. But even when you're not, just in general, you're just funny. And laughing at you turns into laughing with you.
So now you ask me the question, what molded me to be that way? I think my mom, because I wasn't always this way. I was a little terror. She says I was a good kid, but I think she says that now because she's getting old and she doesn't want me to put her in a nursing home. She says you weren't bad, but I remember real issues where I was bad and I was mean. I was a mean kid. I wasn't very nice. And I think that all the punishment that I received, like all the missed ice creams and because my mother stuck to it. She was like, okay, for that, get no dessert. I was like, why? Because you're doing mean things. And so I think that kind of just blazed it. That kind of beat it out of me. That's really bullshit ass reason, isn't it? I don't even know why I'm like this, girl, for real. I don't know. I'm trying to be all Trump.
You funny.
Yeah, breathe that. And then I don't know why I'm this way. The Lord made me this way. I don't know.
Well, the Lord.
I don't know. That was a bunch of crap. But I was that way. I'm ashamed of it, actually. But I wasn't nice. I wasn't a nice kid. I was friendly, but I was selfish. And every mommy says I'm still selfish, but I don't think so.
Well, you see what I just told you about yourself. So.
Thank you.
Yeah. Maybe you have selfish ways.
Yeah. I mean, but do you see yourself as selfish?
Mm-hmm.
You do?
Mm-hmm. A lot. But I also know I'm not 100% selfish though. Like, I probably like 50-50. Like, cause the shit I want to myself, I definitely want to myself. But some shit, like, I don't care about sharing.
Like, what's
only when I want to share. Like, not when you want me to share. Like,
right.
This is mine. I'll share what I want to.
Right. Whenever I feel like it.
Right.
But I think I share everything now. I don't know. I'm
Girl,
old.
You over fucking share.
You think I overshare?
I tell you all the time, you be doing too much.
Wow. Okay.
I do that all the time, dude. I tell you all the time. Yeah, we're sitting in that fucking back corner. What you want some of this? You want some of that? Don't nobody be asking you shit at all. They don't even know what you got over there. You say, oh, you want that? I just see you walking past. You want some of this? Girl, they going to pee. Leave them alone.
Wow. Okay. So I overshare. That's interesting. You have told me that. I never understand it though. I never understand it. I don't understand it because I don't. You know.
Also, you are the way you are, so it's fine. I'm not telling you.
I realize that there is nothing I could take with me, so I might as well go ahead and just, the more you give, the more you get. And what I will tell you, being that way, I will tell you that I'm extremely blessed. I mean, I have a really blessed life. I have a happy disposition. I'm not depressed often. I'm very happy with where I am in my life right now. I would like to be further, but I'm happy with me. What do you think about all of this killing? The mass shootings? How does that make you feel?
I don't know how I feel about it, honestly. I think I got a lot of different feelings about it in general. Like, definitely anger is in there. Sadness is in there. Confusion is in there. Frustration. I don't know. I don't know if there's more. I don't know how much of each, what's the percentage in each. I don't know where I'm at with that, but I know it's like a mixture of different things. And it's like, whether it was the older people at the grocery store, the black people at the grocery store, the kids at the elementary school, the people at the graduation, like wherever, it's like every week it seems like it's something different. And the people who are in charge are doing nothing but saying prayers for the families and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know what the answer is to get rid of all the guns, because I know there's not going to be a way to get rid of all the guns.
No.
Like, even if you say everybody turn in your guns, there was absolutely nothing that can happen to you, people are going to keep their guns.
Right.
But also, why is it so easy to get these fucking AR-15 type guns?
Yeah.
Like, why does a civilian need that gun? Why does anybody in the police on regular land policing in their cities need that? The people in the military, that's a different story. But all these regular motherfuckers walking around here daily, why do they need guns like that? Why are they sold at feather fitting tackles and shit, whatever the name of that store? Like, why is that available so readily to people? That man that shot up the doctors and stuff, like, he got the gun the day before.
The reason why I'm torn is because, number one, I don't want to be in a position as a regular citizen not to be able to buy an AK. Not to say that I'm going to, but if I want to, as an American citizen, I have a right to buy whatever firearm I want to buy. Because if the government ever at some point decides to turn on the people, I want to be able to take me out a couple of them before they kill me completely and just blow my house off the block. How do I feel? I don't really even know. Because is it really the AKs that are the problem, or is it the mental health of these individuals doing the crimes? And America doesn't care about mental health.
I think they fake care right now, but I think that...
How so?
I think, because, people, that's mental health. That's a big thing that a lot of people are talking about right now.
Oh, that's
trying to respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, so people, so I think it's a trend to, care about mental health right now. And not that everybody is fake caring about it. Some people actually do care, but, That's the shit. You know, the NBA players pushing it, NFL players are pushing it. But I think it's also one of the most dangerous. I don't know if the word is trope that I'm looking for, but it's one of the most dangerous waves to ride because there's literally no way to judge another person's mental health because you never know what another person's thinking. They could be faking to the T, and you literally will never know. You just assume to believe it that they're telling the truth about what they're going through because that's what you should just believe them. But there are literal people who will be out here faking it every day to get over on people. You know, so I think it's dangerous in trying to, not saying that you are, but I think it's dangerous that people like to throw, use mental health as a reason for any and everything. Like some people literally do just be fucked up.
I don't know. I just don't want you to mess with my rights because I'm not going to go into a mall and shoot up anybody. But maybe I want an AK. I don't know. I just don't want you to mess with my rights. Don't take my rights away. I'm not going to shoot anyone.
I want to be able to get one just to say I can get one.
Right. Yeah, I have a friend of mine, God rest, Lord have mercy, she just buried her son because he was trying to sell one. He wasn't trying to use it. He was trying to sell it. And these boys, I don't know what happened, but whatever, it was a gun sale gone wrong. And it was his gun. He bought it. He turned 18 and decided he wanted to buy a gun. And so he bought an AK. I don't know why that's the gun people go to. The AKs. Do you think it has anything to do with the videos? Like the rap videos? I mean, what people want an AK? That's not the first gun I would go to. I would look for a 9mm if I was going to get a gun.
I don't know nothing about guns.
I know, but I'm going to get me one.
Especially not on video.
Yeah, I've been shot.
Okay, so now that we're here, since you brought that up, do you mind talking about that at all? Any of that story?
I have no problem with it. I was trying to not, because it's a long story. I always make it, ain't nothing I say that's short.
Yeah, I know. But, do your thing. Do your thing. This your story. I don't want to take nothing away from it.
Back in the 80s, I was smoking weed back then, and I couldn't find any of the people that I normally get the weed from, and so I decided I was going to just go and pick up it was so much more to it than that. I was lying trying to get out the house to use the car so I could go up to Lee and Harvard. And it was just a bunch of nonsense trying to buy some weed. And so I picked up two strangers in the 80s. You would think, oh, well, that was the 80s. It was probably pretty cool. Nah, you knew better then. But they were young. I was like, okay, y'all know where to get some marijuana. Excuse me, do you know where to get some marijuana? And they just saw an idiot. Okay, someone stupid and naive, because who called it marijuana but somebody that was stupid and naive? Nobody calls it marijuana. Maybe now they do, but back then it was weed, period. So they saw this suburban girl in a 98 Oldsmobile, crushed velvet interior, 4-door, tilt wheel. It was a really nice car, and they saw that, and they were like, oh, we about to get that car, because this is a fool. So I asked them, did they know where to get it? And they were like, yeah, we know. I was like, get in. So they got in, and we drove to get the weed. Now, I knew where I was, but I didn't really know where I was. But anyway, so to make the long story short, on the way back, or after we got the weed, it was taking a long time for the dude to come out of this house. I was like, and I'm like looking at my watch. I'm like, I'm on a time schedule. I got to get home. My mother and father are going to get me. I got to go. And it was already 11. My mother told me be back at 10:30. So it's 11 now.
How old were you when this happened?
20. I was 20. And so I hadn't gotten to 21 yet, but I was 20. And so I'm like, oh, man. I'm like, you got to go get your friend, because I got to go. I have an appointment. I'm just lying. I have an appointment, and I need to get to this appointment, and I have to go. Because, it was like Jay for me to, say, my mom's going to want me to be home. So I was just like, can you please go get your friend? And so when he went in, what I was going to do is I was going to leave. You know, just pull off. You could have a little $5 nickel bag that I was going to get for $5. I was like, you could just have that $5 and I was going to keep on going in. So, I'm trying to make it short. So it took a long, long time for him to come out. And he was like, no, don't leave my friend. You know, don't leave him. He gonna come. He's coming out. And to let you, I know that he didn't really have any idea what was going to go on, because this dude gave me his real address, real phone number, because he was trying to talk to me. And he was 17. I was 20. I'm talking to you, 17. But I didn't know how to be mean, but I didn't want to talk. I didn't want no relationship with no 17-year-old. You 17, you ain't even got a car. I want you to be able to pick me up. So, I'm good. But I'll let you think that he was like, yeah, you know, and so, you know what I'm saying? And he's doing all this rapping, but all I'm concerned about is, please go get your friend so I'll take y'all back where I picked you up from. But I got to go. He would not go. It was 11:30, 11:45. I'm like, I really have to go. Now I'm getting ready to pull off. No, babe, please don't pull off. Don't pull off. Don't pull off. So finally his friend comes. It probably was about 11:45, maybe 12 o'clock. I sat out there for 2 hours waiting for a nickel of weed, but I know it now that I know what happened. It was way more to it than I'm just waiting on him to come out. Right. So he comes out, he gets in, he was like, here you go. Like, I know what I'm doing. I'm like, let me smell it. And so I had to smell it. And I'm like, okay, you could laugh because all my friends laugh at this. A lot of people try not to laugh, but they like, I don't want to laugh because you got a funny
story, right?
Yeah, but it's funny. So I'm like sitting up here trying to figure out how, you know, I'm smelling it. I'm like, I don't even know what this smells like. It smells like something. Yeah, well, that's good. Mm-hmm. And so I'm thinking it's something. It probably wasn't anything good, but he was like, yeah, so we gonna smoke some or what? I'm like, I can't smoke and drive. I said, you could go ahead and roll you one. I only really wanted one anyway. So I wasn't trying to smoke or nothing. I just wanted to get home because I already knew my whole driving privileges were cut out for now a week probably. And the later it got, the more I was going to not be able to drive because my mother and my father were going to say, how dare you? You just disrespected, you know, and so I was going to go through that. So I'm like, please. And I'm rushing to get back. So I'm over on, I don't know if you know the area, Judson. In that area, Judson, Kane, over there, Miles area. So I'm over there. And at that time, we lived on Van Aken. Girl, I'm just doing everything I can to get home. So finally, and he's got me going up here and there, and I really don't know that area, but I kind of do. And he's got me going up here and going there and turning here and turning there. And I'm like, okay, I think I know where I am a little bit, and he was like, yeah, drop me off. Well, I knew for a fact we weren't on Lee and Harvard. I knew that. We were behind it. I was like, I just can't figure out where, because I'm thinking I got to get home. And so we get on this street called Cloverside. And I remember the street, and he's like, oh, here's my house right here. I'm like, oh, really? So I slammed on the brakes, and he was like, yeah. And then the next thing you know, I had a gun here, and he was like, bitch, get out. I was like, what you said, what's that? I didn't hear you. I did not hear what you said. Excuse me? He was like, bitch, get the fuck out. I was like, and honestly, the only reason why I didn't get out is because all I could think about is my mother killing me. The gun didn't mean nothing. I didn't care about the bullets, the gun, or nothing. All I thought was, how the hell am I going to explain this to my mother that I done lost her car? And I was buying weed. And they took the car. I was like, there's no way. I'd rather die. I would rather die. And I said that to him. I said, you're going to have to kill me because I'm not getting out of this car. My mother is going to kill me. My father is going to beat my head in. I said, you might as well shoot me, nigga, because I'm not and it was one of them exchanges. And he got the gun right here. He's like, bitch, get out, get out. And it was like, gun, bitch, get out. No, kill me. Bitch, gun, get out, kill me. And it was just crazy. And then the dude that was sitting in the front, he's the guy in the back is like, get the keys, man. Get the keys. I was like, if they turn this car off, I'm good as dead. And so I'm like, okay, no, you can't have the keys. So I got this leg here kicking him like this. He's hitting his head against the back of the thing. The guy in the back is getting out to get him up to the front. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I got my foot on the gas. This foot is kicking him. I slammed the car and parked some stupid kind of way. So then I think I'm going to drive off. So I got one foot on the gas. The car is going and pow, pow, boom, pow, pow. I thought I was about to die anyway because I thought the car was going to blow up. So I was like, okay, I don't know how I'm going to get out of this. I was like, God, I need your help. I'm coming to you, Lord, right now because I need your help. And all of a sudden I hear bang. And so I thought the dude had threw fire in my face. I was like, oh my God, fire. Oh, and I'm screaming and hollering. Now, this part wasn't funny, but I'm screaming and hollering. And I'm like, oh my God, he set my face on fire. And I'm feeling it and I'm feeling this wet. I'm like, he must have threw acid in my face. And then I look at my hands and they're all red. I was like, I'm like, and now I'm screaming. I'm like, no, they ran. They jumped out and ran. Car still on. So now I have to regroup. And I'm like, okay, calm down. Calm down. You can drive yourself to South Point. At that time, it was suburban. I was like, you could drive yourself to South Point. You could just get up there, you let them know that something is wrong. I didn't know that I had been shot. And then all of a sudden, I started to, it was just weird. I don't know what I was feeling, but whatever it was, I was like, something was like, you just go out, get out of the dark. Because I was on no street light, nothing. I was in the dark. So I pulled out to Lee Road in Cloverside, and I just pulled out there, and I was across. This is Lee Road, and my car was like that across Lee Road. So cars going up, cars going that way, and I was there, and I'm waving people down. I got one foot out the door is open, blood is everywhere, front window everywhere, and I'm just like, I think I'm about to die. And so I remember looking at the clock. The clock said 10:45, 10:30. No, it was past that. The clock had to say it was either one. I know the last number was either 43 or 45, but it was maybe about 1, maybe 2. I can't really remember what time. I keep saying it was 10 something, but I had passed that because we were at the place at 11 to 12. So we had to have, it only takes about maybe 20 minutes to get there. So I would say it was probably about 1:45, somewhere right in there, one something. And so, I didn't really, I can't actually express to you how I thought I was dead. I actually felt like my lungs I felt like I was going to bust all in here. I felt like my head was going to pop off because I couldn't breathe. I was trying to get air in and it was like, it was horrible. And so, I said, well, what a fool. You didn't even make it to 21 and over some drugs. You so stupid. And I heard the voice of what I would say was the devil, because it basically said, and I'm going to kill you. You're going to die. You're going to die now. And I remember I was like, well, I started praying. I just didn't know what else to do. And I started just affirming things that I know about God. I was praying the 91st Psalm. I prayed the 23rd Psalm. I prayed the Lord's Prayer. I also said the scientific statement of being, where it's saying that God is the only power here, and that, then I started going free for all. I was like, Lord, I don't really know. I just please come and get me, because I can't breathe. And so then the next thing I remember is I just said, fuck it. I was like, I'm dead. And so I folded my arms, girl, in a dramatic way. I'm not playing. I folded my arms like this, and I laid on the front seat of the car. And I went. But what happened was my eyes opened somewhere else. I wasn't on the earth anymore. But I had this experience. It was like there was a light, and it was this huge light that that light was so bright. It was like, the way that I could see it is take a white piece of paper and put one little specky dot on it. And that's how the white was. It was everywhere. And it was comforting. And then the light started doing this shimmery thing, like a mother of pearl. When you think of mother of pearl, that's what the light started doing that. And it was pulsing, like, it was shimmery and pulsy, and it made me feel comfortable, and I was cool. And I never asked, are you God, or nothing like that. But I was just like, you know what? I didn't realize that I wasn't on the earth. I just said, oh, I ain't in pain no more. Oh, cool. God is here. Okay, good, good. Everything great. Now, let me go ahead and get to the hospital real quick. I need to get to a payphone, because there was no cell phones then. I was like, I need to get to a payphone. I need to call somebody. I need to call the operator, because there was no 911. This was, you just call 0 and ask for the police or the fire department.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, I know, right? This was in 80. And so, well, it was 88 or 89. 88. I think it was 88. I mean, all of this stuff is documented because there was a court case. So it's attached to that court case. I said I was going to try to find it. But anyway, so, yeah, man. And so I just thought I was going to die. So I had this light experience. And then I saw these two people standing over, and I saw this fence that went across it. So as I'm running to this fence, I'm running, but I ain't seeing no hands, no feet. I didn't see the hands or feet, but I'm running and I'm getting it too. And I'm like, okay, let me get over here to this fence. And I see them, they gonna call the police for me. And they gonna, so I was like, excuse me, ma'am, can you help me? She just waving me on. And I'm like, well, excuse me, ma'am, hi, but can you call the operator? I've been shot. I'm dying. And she just waving me on. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, hey, she looks a lot like me. So there's this fence that goes like this way. And so I'm moving this way, but before I can get there, I look over here and there's like this, like a, drive-in movie picture screen, but it was sitting on the ground, and it was and it had all these memories, like I saw my grandmother laughing and me as a baby and my grandfather and a bunch of different and all of these memories just swiping across this screen, and I was laughing. I was like, oh, I remember that. Oh. And then just as quick as I saw it, it was gone. And then I'm like, okay, that's right. I got to get over here. So I'm running to these people, and I get to this fence was no taller than this. I mean, came to my knees, like my knee to my feet. That's how tall the fence was. So I'm like, oh, ain't no big deal. I'm just going to step over it. So every time I tried to lift my leg up to step over it, my leg would just bend back down. And I was like, wait a minute, I don't understand. I'm like, let me get over. It was like something wouldn't allow me to come. The lady still talking about, come on, come on. I'm like, excuse me, ma'am, can you just call the operator? I need you to help me. I need to get help. And she's still waving, come on. I'm still trying to get my leg over. I look down the thing. I'm like, oh, there's a fence down, a gate. Let me run down there and go down. Okay. And I go down there, I jiggle the gate, it wouldn't open. I'm like, okay, I need to get over here to this people because she can't hear me for some reason. And then so I ran back down. I'm like, I can't come. Please, will you please just come? And then all of a sudden I felt this, some kind of wind thing that was like, hit me in the chest like that. And then I was like, I was like, oh. And it was like, you got to go back. You got to go back. You cannot stay. You have to go back. You can't go. You got to go back. And I'm like, go back where? And I looked back. And when I did that, I was back in the car. Like this with two people, right, like this, girl, with two people that I thought were just, because I mean, this was the 80s still. Everybody knew that there's still people would not trick you and take your car, wait for you to bump you. I mean, they were doing that back then. It wasn't as prevalent as it is now. So people were like, I was like, ain't nobody gonna stop and help me. They think this is a trick. They don't believe this is true. And so that was the lady that had passed me. And she was like, oh my God, ma'am. She was like, don't get up. Don't get up, ma'am. I called the operator. The ambulance is on the way. Oh my God, I thought you were dead. I was like, me too. I did too. I was like, me too. You mean I ain't dead? I was like, did this happen? And she was like, no, you good. And I was like, oh my God. And so she was like, please don't get up. So I didn't. And, so, I mean, I was back. It was cool. So then the police came and they asked me, can you tell me who did this to you? I started describing him. Yeah, he had this, he had that, he this, that, the other name. His name was Wesley Brooks. His other boy in the front was Keith Bearden. And those are their real names. And yeah, they were. And so I was like, yeah, it was deep because, like I said, I don't think that was an intention, but it was time for me to stop the direction I was going in. It was time for me to stop lying. It was time for me to be serious about what it was I was doing. But anyway, so I had a wonderful experience, and I know now that there is no death. I did come back with that there's no death, that when you close your eyes on this side of the grave, you will open your eyes up on another side. But it's confusing because you don't realize that you've left your body because you think you still have it, but you don't. So I do understand that much. And I did get to talk to God for a second because he told me I had to come back. So yeah, but the great thing about what happened is in 2 weeks, with no medical attention, I was completely healed. Within 2 weeks. 2 weeks. It was a harrowing experience. It was something that I never want to go through again. I don't never want, but I wouldn't change anything that happened because I grew so much from it. Yeah, I grew. I grew. And I know that God is real. So when I talk about God, it's not from no book thing. It's for real. I was right there. Something happened to me and I'm back for a reason. I didn't die. I mean, so many people get shot, and every time I hear about somebody getting shot and dying, I'm like, wow. And why'd you put me back? Why'd you let one? Because I could have been that person, but I wasn't for a reason. So, yeah. So I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do.
So what's your purpose? So do you feel like you know your purpose? You just trying to find it for you?
I believe I know my purpose. The way that you see me, I think that's my purpose. I think my purpose is to make sure that people know that love really exists, that love is God. I don't view God as a noun. And a lot of people teach that God teach God like a noun. God's a verb to me. So it's like, I don't think of a man on a throne out there, some anthropomorphic God that sits out there, way out there waiting to, put judgment upon you for whatever reason. I see God as love. And so when you experience love, you experience God. So and I think my purpose is to be that and show people that. That sounds good, doesn't it? Right. I feel like that, man. I feel like that, and I try to live that. And what makes me feel good is that you see that. I mean, not unless you was blowing smoke at my butt.
No, I'm not. Hold on, I gotta go get my.
And to me, that's the hard part of being a person that I find myself to be a person of integrity, I guess. And I try to live like that. So I think my mission, I think that's my mission. That's really why I think I'm here. I think I'm back here to not necessarily be a minister, because I'm too, I was going to say crooked, but it's not crooked. I cuss sometimes. I make mistakes, and I kind of think when you a minister, you can't do none of that stuff. Even though they say, well, ministers are human. Yeah, but I think you have to really make a commitment to be perfect. Even though I'm making that commitment to be perfect, but you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I ain't ready for none of that.
I mean, I don't think that you're wrong. I just think that people put other people on pedestals simply because they have titles. And we do need to remember that, yes, they are people. And though we all may strive to be a certain way at times, there are going to be times where we don't make the best decisions. Or we don't make the right decisions ever. People to err is human. And so you have to give people that room.
Well, yeah, I agree. You should give people that room, but I think
there are levels. There are levels to the errors. So
right.
People take that and shit and run with it, but there are also levels to the errors too. Like, don't just be straight up out here and fucking up and thinking like, oh, well, forgive me because I said I'm sorry. No.
Yeah. No. See, and when you're a minister, I think you have to be able to. You have to be able to. You have to be able to. Okay, I don't know what you have to be able to, but let me say it this way: as a minister, you need to know how to forgive. You can't be a minister holding grudges against people. Not to say that I have that problem. I don't have that particular problem, but I do have a problem with not being able to appreciate a wicked person getting away with murder. I'm not ready for that yet. I don't know necessarily how to pray for my enemy. I want to see my enemy fall. And see, that's not a minister. I'm out. I'm already out. I'm out. I don't want to see you get nothing good out of nothing. If you a wicked person, you a meanie. You somebody who kick your dog. I will hope your foot fall off. You know what I'm saying? I hope your whole foot get gangrene and fall straight off. Well, and so that's not a minister. You can't be a minister with that kind of mentality. You have to be able to, you know what I'm saying? You can't. And I don't have no sympathy for people that are just wicked for no reason. You ain't got to be wicked like that. You don't have to like people, but you ain't got to set people up. I don't like that either. So that's why I don't think I was cut out to be a minister. What do you like mostly about yourself?
My sense of humor.
That's it?
You said mostly.
Did I?
You said mostly. That's not the only thing I like about myself, but mostly I love my sense of humor. I love that there's levels to my sense of humor. I love that there's levels to my sense of humor. That you can get the dry, sarcastic humor, or you can get the straight up silly as fuck humor. Like, depends on what mood I'm in.
Right.
It's always gonna be funny. It just depends on how I'm going to deliver the funny.
Right. What do you think you living in your purpose?
I think that I don't know exactly what it is. I think I'm still in the middle of figuring that part out.
Okay.
Because I know that I have something to bring to the world in general. And it's like, I don't. So I always make the joke where I say, I know I'm funnier than Amy and she gets funny. And I don't want to be a comedian. I don't want to be known by the world for being funny or none of that shit. But I just think it's wild that I'm this funny and people don't know it. So it's just,
do you think
it's
you
a
could
weird
do it
thing.
though? Do you think you could?
I don't think I want to. I'm not gonna stand in front of a crowd and for a set amount of time. I wouldn't even want to be that type of funny. Like, just I like my funny to roll off naturally.
Right. You don't want to have to do it on a regular.
Right. I don't want to have to boom every day for this amount of time. You absolutely have to be funny with these pre-rehearsed jokes and shit. Like, it's an art form, absolutely, but not the one that I want to partake in. I'd rather be in the audience of the stand-up comedians. In the back of the audience.
What about acting?
I used to memorize movie lines all the time. So you ask me, hell yeah, I can act. And I can sing. Have I ever heard my voice outside of my own head? Absolutely not. But in my head, I can sing and I can act. And I can also dance. I am a one-man show. But is anybody gonna see this shit? Absolutely not.
So you wouldn't. Oh, okay. So what happened? Okay. So in the ideal world, let's say I had a movie studio and I had this movie, and we needed an actress to play the part of a young girl who. I don't know. I don't want to be so typical with it, like, oh, some hood girl. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be typical, but like a young girl who grew up in the suburbs, who lives in Bel Air, and she's from West Philadelphia, and
so the girl version of Fresh Prince.
Girl version of Fresh Prince. Would you do it? Yeah. Could you play that role?
I would be scared shitless in the first place to even attempt to do that stuff in front of people.
Oh, that's good. Scared is good. Scared is good.
Oh.
Scared is good. I mean, the more scared you are, the better you'll do. It's that confidence that when you bomb. Yeah, but I think you have some. But I've seen it in you for a long time, but you don't see it. So.
Darren told me that my comedic timing is one of the best he's ever seen. He told me that
it is.
For a long time.
It's very funny. You're hilarious on levels that I can't even.
That's my granddaddy. Dead ass. That's my granddaddy.
He was funny like that?
Yeah, my mother said that when I was younger, I used to go with him a lot. I used to be with my granddaddy a lot, and that he used to we used to write each other notes back and forth. You a doodoo head, you a pee-pee head, little shit like that, little stupid shit like that, childish shit like that. But that was part of me and him going back and forth. Like, that started my sense of humor and his dry humor. All that shit rubbed off on me. So she was like, he used to be like, yeah, I'm teaching her how to write. Like, what you mean? Yeah. We practicing her handwriting, how to write, and all this shit. Like,
and you're an excellent speller. I can't spell. I can't spell.
For the most part, yeah. For the most part. Sometimes
you are. You're the only person I know that can catch somebody misspelling a word in the text. And then had to know I saw you. One time you told me, you said, I don't understand how somebody misspelled. I don't remember what word it was, but whatever it was something. You was like, that really pissed me off. I didn't even read it. Oh, so you just didn't read? No, because they misspelled it and it pissed me off, so I didn't even read it.
I don't remember that, but sounds like
you don't remember nothing.
Sounds like me.
You're right.
I think I have a terrible memory. I always have. My memory been shit since I was a kid.
Really? Did you get in trouble for that?
Yes. All the time.
Did you?
Yeah, because I couldn't remember shit. I used to have homework that I didn't never do. I think I almost failed a couple grades, or a couple quarters, because I didn't do the homework. I didn't do homework. I got in trouble I was in punishment a whole lot in elementary school for not doing shit I was supposed to do as far as like work and homework and shit. Because that was the only thing I ever got in trouble for. I didn't get in trouble for nothing else. It was always some shit that had to do with schoolwork.
Yeah. I wouldn't get in trouble until after the what did they call that thing that they used to do? What is that? It's like before you get your report card and progress report.
Progress report.
My progress report day was always bad because it would be like 39,000, 40,000 assignments that I just never turned in. And my mother would be like, what have you been doing? What have you been doing? I mean, it was bad. It was bad. I was like, well, I forgot. I just wouldn't. I don't know what happened. I would do them and they would be in my bag.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nothing. It would not register because they would give us the assignments before we left school. By the time I got my ass on that bus and went back down the way and got to the house, I forgot that I was supposed to do this work.
Well, I did it, but I wouldn't turn it in.
Well, that's just dumb.
I would forget to turn it. I would forget to turn it in. I don't know how I would forget to turn it in. But I would forget.
You are the kid that I never understood. Because if you have the work and it's done and they ask for it, how do you not turn it in?
I forgot. I forgot.
That never makes sense to me.
Now
me, that's a different type of dumb. But like, how do you 3 to 4 days out of the week for getting to that homework? And you
I didn't have no thousands of them.
No, that was me. I forgot. I just forgot.
Yeah, but see, my mother got that straight quick. She said, she got me a notebook, and I had to have the teacher write the assignment in the notebook, and I had to have her sign it and the teacher sign it. Yeah, she wasn't playing. She was like, you're going to do this work. I'm not going to come up here to one more. She used to tell me, I'm not coming to one more progress report, whatever they call them. I'm not coming to one more and hearing none of this. All of that time you spent on that phone, I'm taking your phone. I mean, I could spend a half a year with my phone in her room with me sneaking in there, getting it when she went somewhere and plugging it in.
Just be on the phone. Just talking.
Yeah, I think that's another mission of mine. I'm supposed to be talking. I think I'm supposed to be talking.
Apparently, you got something to say. It might take you a while to get it out, but you got something to say.
You ain't funny.
I thought it was funny.
It was. That was funny, but it wasn't. It wasn't. It was that nice Vince. It was that nice Vince. I ain't like that.
My bad.
I didn't like that one. That one didn't work.
My bad. Next time, I try to get it. Yeah.
I love it. No, it's all right. I don't care. Yeah, man, I'm like tripping. What do you feel about this just the way that the world is going and the fact that we're in a recession? Yo,
we living in poverty. This is all a bunch of bullshit. I don't understand anything about life. I don't like adulting at all. I think it's all trash. I think we all need to join a support group called Fuck Adulting Anonymous because what the fuck is this? Like, why? Like, none of us like going to work 5 days a week for 8 hours, and this is still the way that we go to work daily. Everybody in the fucking country. All because some old white fuck that's dead now, Henry Ford, said, yeah, let's make everybody work 40 hours a week. Only give them 2 days off. Barely pay them any money. And expect them to run whole households and this type of shit. And then people have kids and whole ass families. And let's just make life ass. Let's make up this thing called credit that we're gonna make the people have for absolutely no reason. And then let's make this sham of a shit called healthcare that we don't give everybody, but we force all the women to have babies because you absolutely can't not have them.
hate it that you can't see my lopsided head anymore, and so that's all right. I do want to say that I really appreciate being a part of your show. You and Hayden have really great chemistry. I love this whole concept. I've watched several of your shows, actually more than several, but I just love the way you all bounce off of each other. I love this, period. Thing that I would tell people is the thing that you need is needing you, and divine love brings and supplies demand together for the mutual good. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody, but God does love us for who we really are. And I just hope that you can love yourself as much as God loves you. So that's the best I can do. In all your ways, get an understanding. You have to seek Him first, and all these things shall be added unto you, and all of that good stuff. So, if I can do anything to make you smile, I certainly appreciate you having me here. I'm always here for you. I always got your back. I think you are a divine idea.
Thank you. I appreciate you taking time out of taking most of your Saturdays to talk to me. And to then come on the show.
We can do it again tomorrow. I'm having so much fun with this hangout. We can play around with it.
Ma'am, tomorrow's Father's Day.
Here, all of you,
Ma'am, tomorrow's Father's Day. I'll be like that.
Oh,
girl, get LB something. Did you get LB anything?
Yo.
Oh, shit. You ain't get LB. All right, people. This has been your girl, Frankii, baby. And I thank you for listening to me today with my guest, Divine Idea. Hayden still will join us again, always on the next episode. And thank you. Peace out. Bye.